Pause for a moment and let this sink in. According to your faith, let it be done to you. These are not just words from a distant past. They're a blueprint for the reality you create every single day. Jesus, the ultimate master of inner power, wasn't speaking only to the people of his time. He was addressing you, right here, right now. What if I told you that the outcomes in your life are not determined by circumstances or luck, but by the depth of your belief? It's not an exaggeration. It's a spiritual principle that's echoed in modern science and psychology. Think about it this way. If you approach a challenge believing you'll fail, your mind will unconsciously find ways to validate that belief. You'll hesitate, overthink, or sabotage yourself. But if you shift your perspective, if you say, "This is possible because I believe it is," you begin to act differently. You become resourceful, resilient, and oddly magnetic to solutions. This is where Jesus' words come alive. Your belief shapes your reality. Let's ground this in something practical. Start with a small goal, something personal. Maybe you want to improve your health. Instead of just wishing, create a belief so vivid that it feels inevitable. Say to yourself, "I am becoming healthier every day." Write it down. Place it where you'll see it daily, on your bathroom mirror or phone screen. This is not just a cute exercise. It's aligning your faith with your actions, a principle Jesus himself demonstrated. Look at the story of the centurion in Matthew 8. He approached Jesus, saying, "Just say the word, and my servant will be healed." He didn't ask for proof. He didn't hesitate. His unwavering belief in Jesus' power brought the miracle to life. Now, ask yourself, what kind of miracles could you unlock if you cultivated that same level of faith in your goals, in your path, or even in yourself? Here's a fun experiment. Think of a goal you've been hesitant about. Maybe a career change, a new skill, or mending a relationship. Visualize the best outcome and pair it with belief. But don't just leave it in your head. Speak it aloud. Write it down. And here's the secret. Act as though it's already happening. The key isn't to fake it, but to act in alignment with the belief that it's unfolding. Jesus wasn't just a spiritual teacher. He was a master of human psychology long before the term existed. His teachings about faith and thought are timeless because they tap into something universal, the way your inner world dictates your outer world. But faith isn't passive. It's dynamic, alive, and requires nurturing. And as you explore this deeper, you might start to wonder about the other tools Jesus left behind. Let's dive deeper into a truth so profound yet so often overlooked. Your words are not just sounds. They are seeds. Each time you speak, you are planting seeds in the fertile soil of your reality. This concept didn't originate with modern self-help gurus or motivational speakers. It's woven into the teachings of Jesus himself. In Mark 11 verse 23, Jesus said, "If anyone says to this mountain, 'Go, throw yourself into the sea,' and does not doubt in their heart but believes that what they say will happen, it will be done for them." Notice he didn't just mention believing. He emphasized saying. Now, take a moment to reflect. How often do you speak words of fear, doubt, or limitation? You might say things like, "I'm not good at this," or "I'll never catch a break." Each time, you're unintentionally instructing your life to conform to those declarations. But here's the empowering part. You can reverse this. You can consciously choose to use your words as tools of creation, just as Jesus taught. Here's an exercise you can start today. Take note of your most common complaints or negative statements. Write them down, and beside each one, craft a positive declaration to replace it. For instance, if you often say, "I'm terrible with money," flip the script to, "I am learning to manage my money wisely, and abundance flows to me." Keep these affirmations visible, on sticky notes, as phone reminders, or even as your morning mantra. Speak them with conviction, as though they are already true, because here's the secret. your mind begins to align with what you repeatedly declare. Consider the story of Lazarus in John 11. Jesus didn't just believe Lazarus would rise from the dead. He spoke it. His words, backed by unwavering faith, brought life where there was none. This is not just a miraculous tale. It's a demonstration of how the spoken word, combined with belief, holds immense power. You may not be raising people from the dead, but you can certainly resurrect dormant dreams, lost confidence, or forgotten potential. Take it one step further. Imagine your words as commands to the universe. If you consistently say, "I'm too tired to succeed," the universe answers, "So be it." But if you declare, "I have the energy and focus to achieve my goals," your actions will begin to align with that reality. Try it for a week. Replace every complaint or doubt with an empowering statement. Watch how your mindset shifts, and with it, the opportunities that arise. Jesus' teaching about the power of words wasn't metaphorical. It was practical, transformational, and deeply connected to the reality we create. And as you master this principle, you might start to wonder, what role does gratitude play in amplifying this power? Let's explore. Gratitude. It's not just a polite thank you. It's a frequency, a force, a bridge between the reality you have and the one you desire. When Jesus performed miracles, gratitude was often his first step. In John 6 verse 11, before feeding the 5,000, he took the loaves, gave thanks, and only then did the miracle unfold. This wasn't a coincidence. Gratitude primes the soul for abundance. It creates alignment with the flow of blessings. Now, you might be wondering, how can gratitude help me manifest my dreams? Here's the truth. Gratitude shifts your focus. Instead of dwelling on what's missing, you begin to magnify what you already have. This simple shift changes your energy, your perspective, and even the opportunities that come your way. It's like tuning your life to the right station, where abundance and possibility are constantly broadcasting. Let me share a practical exercise. Every evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Not generic things like my house or my family, but specific moments. Perhaps it's the way a friend made you laugh today, or the unexpected quiet time you had to think. By being specific, you deepen your connection to these blessings. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to naturally seek out the good in your life. Science backs this up. Studies show that gratitude rewires neural pathways, making optimism and positivity a habit rather than a fleeting state. But let's take it a step further. What if you expressed gratitude for what hasn't yet arrived? This is where the true magic happens. Jesus said in Mark 11 verse 24, "Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Notice that he didn't say, "Believe you will receive it," but "Believe you have received it." Gratitude for the future, spoken in the present, creates a powerful state of expectation. Here's how you can apply this. Think of a goal, a dream, or a change you deeply desire. Now, instead of asking for it in desperation, thank the universe, or God if you prefer, as though it's already yours. For example, if you're hoping for a new job, say, "I'm so grateful for this fulfilling, abundant career that's bringing me joy and stability." Visualize it with as much detail as possible. How it feels, looks, even smells. Gratitude transforms your desire into certainty, and certainty pulls that reality closer to you. Jesus understood this on a profound level. Gratitude wasn't just a nice sentiment. It was a spiritual tool, a way to align with divine abundance. And as you start practicing this, you'll notice something remarkable. Doors begin to open. Perhaps it's an opportunity you didn't expect, a person who steps into your life at the perfect moment, or a shift in how you approach your challenges. But gratitude doesn't work in isolation. It needs one more ingredient to supercharge its power: action. What steps are you taking to align your life with what you're grateful for? This brings us to the next essential piece of the puzzle. Faith in action. Let's explore. Faith is a word we hear often, but have you ever stopped to wonder what it truly means? Faith isn't passive. It's not simply sitting back and waiting for miracles to unfold. No, true faith is alive. It's active. It's the ability to trust in the unseen while taking tangible steps in the physical world to meet it halfway. Jesus, through his teachings and life, demonstrated this beautifully. Take, for example, the story of Peter walking on water in Matthew 14 verse 29. When Jesus called Peter to step out of the boat, Peter didn't hesitate. He took that first bold step. It wasn't the water that held him up. It was his faith paired with action. But the moment doubt crept in, he began to sink. The lesson here is clear. Faith moves mountains, but action builds the pathway through them. Now, how does this apply to you? Imagine you're trying to manifest a significant life change. Say, starting a new business or improving your health. Belief alone isn't enough. You must pair it with action. If you're dreaming of a business, research your market, draft a plan, and start networking. If health is your goal, begin with small, consistent changes. Drink more water, take daily walks, or try that yoga class you've been curious about. Here's a practical exercise you can do today. Write down one goal you've been visualizing and ask yourself, what is one small step I can take right now to align with this goal? It doesn't have to be monumental. Often, the first step is as simple as sending an email, making a phone call, or learning a new skill. The act of moving forward, no matter how small the step, strengthens your belief and sets things into motion. And let's tie this back to the teachings of Jesus. In Luke 17 verse 6, he said, "If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mulberry tree, 'Be uprooted and planted in the sea,' and it will obey you." A mustard seed is tiny, yet it holds the potential to grow into a massive tree. Faith works the same way. It starts small but grows through action. Here's the key. Faith isn't about knowing every step of the journey in advance. It's about trusting that the path will unfold as you walk it. This is where most people falter. They want certainty before they act. But Jesus' teachings remind us that faith is about taking the first step, even when the destination isn't fully visible. For example, think about the Wright brothers. They believed in the possibility of human flight when most people called them dreamers, even fools. But their faith wasn't idle. They spent years experimenting, failing, learning, and trying again. Eventually, their belief and relentless action merged to achieve what seemed impossible. Now, pause for a moment and reflect. Where in your life are you holding back because you're waiting for the perfect time or absolute certainty? Let this be your sign to act. Faith and action are partners. They thrive together. Without faith, action is empty. Without action, faith is just a dream. But there's one more ingredient that completes this process: a state of surrender, the ability to release control, trust in divine timing, and allow the universe to work its magic. And that's where we're headed next. Now, here's a truth that may challenge you. Sometimes, the most powerful action you can take is no action at all, at least not in the way we typically think of action. Surrender is the final and often overlooked step in manifesting your desires and aligning with divine power. But don't misunderstand this word. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing the need to control every detail and trusting that what you've planted will bloom in the perfect season. Think about a farmer. Once they've tilled the soil, sown the seeds, and watered the ground, they don't sit there, digging up the earth to check if the seeds are growing. They trust the process, knowing that nature will take its course. In the same way, surrender requires that you release your grip on the outcome, allowing the forces of faith and action to do their work. Jesus illustrated this concept beautifully in Matthew 6 verses 25 to 27 when he said, "Do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, Or about your body, what you will wear? Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. These words aren't just comforting, they're instructive. Jesus is teaching us to trust that when we've done our part, the universe, or divine providence, will handle the rest. Now, here's how you can practice surrender in your own life. Start by identifying something you're holding onto too tightly. A goal, a desire, or even a worry. Ask yourself, have I done everything within my power to nurture this? If the answer is yes, then it's time to release it into the hands of something greater. You can do this through a simple but profound exercise. Write down your desire on a piece of paper, fold it, and place it somewhere symbolic. A journal, a prayer box, or even under your pillow. Every time doubt creeps in, remind yourself, I've done my part. Now I trust the process. Here's an example. Imagine you've applied for your dream job. You've polished your resume, aced the interview, and sent a thank you note. At this point, obsessively checking your email every 5 minutes doesn't bring the job any closer. Instead, let go. Focus your energy on what you can control, perhaps developing a new skill or connecting with people in your network. This shift not only reduces stress, but also allows space for opportunities to flow naturally. Let's look at surrender through the lens of science for a moment. Quantum physics tells us that observation influences reality, but over-observation, anxiously focusing on an outcome, can create resistance. It's like trying to force a river to flow faster. Surrender is the art of stepping back and letting the current carry you while trusting it knows the way. And this is where Jesus' teachings intersect with modern wisdom. When he spoke of faith the size of a mustard seed, he wasn't just talking about belief, but also the patience and trust required to let that seed grow. The same applies to the law of attraction or manifestation. Your role is to plant the seed through intention and action, then water it with faith and let it grow in its own time. Think of some of the greatest innovators and leaders in history. People like Martin Luther King Jr. or Mahatma Gandhi. They acted with conviction, but they also surrendered to a higher purpose, trusting that their efforts would ripple far beyond what they could see. So, ask yourself this: where in your life are you resisting surrender? Are you clinging to control, trying to force something into being? What would happen if you simply trusted, if you let go of the outcome and focused instead on the journey? And here's the secret: when you surrender, you create space for miracles. You open the door for the unexpected, the serendipitous, the divine, because often, what's waiting for you is far greater than what you could ever imagine. But that's just the beginning. The real magic unfolds when you step back and see how the pieces of your life start aligning perfectly, almost as if they were designed by an unseen hand.